All right, OH. Oh, no. That's not good enough. OH. This is an incredibly intimidating audience. So, wish me luck in introducing our speaker. Here's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to read her text to me this morning. First, I have to find it, but she texted me this morning, and she said, "Morning, I'm at the doctor now due to ongoing back pain. I still plan to be there today, but may leave right after I speak to rest this thing. Getting old is hard." Can we give Dr. Shivers a hand? Is that an example of care and compassion or what? We said, come on, Melissa, you got to be here. Seriously, I was reminded of this when I ran into Jill, well, I'll call her Jill, a woman who's been a colleague of mine for 12 years. I've known her 12 years. And I ran into her yesterday. "Jill, how are you?" And she said, "I'm great." I'm so, I haven't seen her in 3 or 4 months. Last time I saw her, she had said, "Could you just pay attention to Bill?" "Why?" I said. "Bill needs some help." That's who Jill is. Jill's always the one behind the scenes, making sure that things work together. Jill's the one who always finds a way to work proactively and connect people. She cares. And I'm finding, "My God, Jill, how are you?" I say. "Oh," she says, "I just got back to work. I've been flat on my back for a month and a half. I had a serious operation." I'm thrilled. Jill was thrilled to be back at work. She was thrilled to keep making a difference. I guarantee you, every one of us knows a Jill. Every one of us knows somebody who makes an incredible difference in how they behave and how they connect people, right? The people who made a difference in this room to bring it together. So who are the volunteers? Raise your hand. Table facility, come on, give them a hand. Table facilitators. They're going to be taking notes. Now, here's the point. All of us know a Jill. And it's really hard to do it alone. It's actually really hard to reflect what it means to be a Buckeye on your own. How do you do it together? That's what we're here for. We're here to remember the values that bring us together. We're here to remember the behaviors that make us a Buckeye. And we're here to entrench the things that we've made and done so far in our shared values together, to make it more real in a way that's not dependent on one person or another person, but that we can all do it together. And in order to do that, we're going to need your help. We're going to need you all to really lean in. We have an opportunity here to identify the progress we've made, to really entrench what we've done in operationalizing our shared values. That's the opportunity we've got to seize today. We have an opportunity to direct the aspirations of this great institution with respect to our values. Where do you want this university to go with our values? Those are the 2 topics you'll be asked to engage on through panels and with working groups. Many of you are not comfortable speaking in groups. You will have every opportunity to answer, provide additional information, and we'll collect it all. So if you're not comfortable speaking in a group on your table, just add it. We had something like 70% of you answer our pre-summit survey. Have you ever given a survey and had 70% response rate? We are collecting those results and delivering a report. That report will go to university leaders, to our new president, to the board, and most importantly, to you, to our community. This is what we've achieved. This is where we're going. And it's in your hands. Thanks for your help. Can you get up here? Awesome.
Good afternoon, everyone. So good to see you. And Gates, I think, actually just gave the keynote address. So I can just stand here for a few minutes and then I'll be done. Gates, first I just want to start by thanking you for the invitation and the opportunity to be able to participate today. And certainly to all of you who had the vision and those who executed on that vision to bring us all into this space in the Ohio Union to really center our thinking and our work around what anchors us as an Ohio State community. I feel very fortunate to have an opportunity to be able to share a little bit of my perspective relative to shared values. And really, those are mostly centered on just our way of being and our way of doing. And every single person in this room will operationalize the shared values in ways that are important and meaningful for you. Yet we hope that the outcome, as Gates mentioned, around togetherness really helps us to live out those values in meaningful and maybe more importantly in measurable ways. They did give me a 10-minute time frame. And anyone that knows me knows that I like to tell stories and I like to sort of deviate and meander a little bit. But today I decided, one, I'm going to follow Gates' rules and expectations. Two, I don't think my back will allow me to stand up beyond the 10 minutes. So you'll get the more focused Melissa this afternoon. So I apologize for reading my notes, but I also want to make sure that I'm able to stay on point and deliver many of the important messages that I think Gates and the Planning Committee hoped for. Over the years, there's been a lot said about organizational culture. Earlier this week, our Chief Wellness Officer, Dr. Bern Melnick, visited with the Student Life executive team to share some of our health trend data. If you haven't seen it, in her presentation, there's a section where she talks about the fact that culture, we eat strategy for lunch or breakfast. And it's a really cute little visual on her slide deck because it actually is showing like a little Pac-Man symbol and sort of the big Pac-Man eating the little ones. And I think about that a lot in terms of the notion of having a plan and wanting to execute the plan, but not having enough awareness of the institutional or the unit culture that can get in the way. I also think a lot about the quote from John Wooden where he says, "It isn't what you do, but it's how you do it." Or maybe you're a nerd, sort of like me, and enjoy reading articles from the Harvard Business Review or any of the other countless books that feature lessons, tips, and best practices about how to build a positive culture. The bottom line is that I think we all agree, or we probably wouldn't be in this room this afternoon, that culture does matter. And while we can't always control it, it also doesn't happen by accident. Strong organizational cultures are influenced by initiatives just like this one, the ones that we are planning to discuss today, our collective university shared values. While we may all agree that culture is important, it's important also to remind ourselves why. As I said, I do geek out on organizational behavior readings, so I had a lot of fun preparing for today. Belonging is an important outcome of positive cultures. Belonging can be defined as the degree to which someone feels they are accepted and valued by the organization. Great Place to Work conducted a study that says that employees who feel a sense of belonging are 3 times more likely to look forward to coming to work and 5 times more likely to want to remain in the organization, which leads us directly to retention. That same study says that employees are 11 times more likely to think their workplace is great if they feel that their managers are honest and ethical. And then there's also engagement. Harvard Business Review found that employees who believe their efforts will be recognized are 2.7 times more likely to be engaged at work versus the thing that we've heard a lot about, particularly during the pandemic, quietly quitting. And for our students, we know that students who are more engaged at the university through co-curricular activities, research, on-campus employment, or other activities are 2.3 times more likely to report that if they feel like they are a member of the Ohio State community, or what we like to refer to as having a sense of belonging. I'm sure that each of you could point to a tangible benefit in your own units that is a result of team members or students experiencing a strong Ohio State culture and supportive environment. Yesterday, a group of senior leaders had the opportunity to sit down with the leaders of each of our student government, the Council on Student Affairs, and one of our student trustees. It's fun to see a lot of those students in the room today. I never get to see y'all 2 days in a row. This is a gift. See, I meandered and I'm back. You will not be at all surprised that Ohio State's extraordinary victory over Notre Dame was still being celebrated and discussed. And I think we should take a pause and continue that celebration right now. Though on a more serious note, Dr. Moeller made a thought-provoking observation about the power in that shared experience, whether you were at the game or watching with friends and loved ones, that each of us who were tuned into the game collectively shared a moment that means so much to being a part of the Ohio State community. Yet we also created our own individual piece of our personal Ohio State story that can be treasured and relived over time. The same can be said for our efforts to crystallize the concept of shared values. If we can spend the time and energy to help our campus community to collectively frame and commit to the ways we will go about our work, engage with and show up for each other, this will lead to individual level decisions and behaviors that make our community stronger. So to put it another way, also this week, Student Life coordinated a massive food packing event or a shared expression of the university's values of care and compassion. This supersized service opportunity for more than 600 people resulted in 200,000 meals being put together and delivered to the hungry throughout the state of Ohio, including our own campus food pantry. This effort will individually affect the lives of those who receive the food, and it also created a sense of community and opportunity to bring people together and fight the epidemic of loneliness that our data tells us affects more than 55% of our students here at Ohio State. Again, shared expressions of values leading to meeting the needs of the individual. If you know me very well, you know that my very favorite humans in the universe are my two nephews. Truly, they are my favorite people in the world. And their real names are Jared and Jordan, although most people don't know that because I refer to them publicly as Sweet Pea and Jordy Pop, and they love that. At 16 and 18, they really like that. They love it. They are way bigger than I am now, but when they were growing up, I must have driven them thousands of miles to do all the things. And over the years, they must have played with 1 million different pieces at Legoland for as many times as we visited. While I truly would do anything for them, they also knew that we followed a few very simple yet important rules. When we would pull into the parking lot, I would ask them, "What are we going to do?" And they would respond with, "Behave." What happens if we don't behave? We leave. Correct. I knew that they were very serious about their Legos, so I knew I could make that comment, and they would comply as much as children can comply. But they also recognize that I was pretty serious about the expectations. If I'm going to be with you as somebody who doesn't have children for 4 hours in Legoland, I need you to behave, because I don't know how to rein you back in other than to get you out of there. So they knew, and it's funny, they will still say, when I say, hey guys, what are we gonna do? They'll still say, behave. And I'm like, that's so great, take that to college. And so I know that's a little bit of a silly example, but the point that I'm trying to make is that it was important for us to pause and agree to how we were gonna operate together. The same is true with our shared values. Certainly our values are meant to be an anchor for how we do our work. For instance, we will strive for excellence in our work and provide the best student experience possible. We will create new knowledge that will result in extraordinary innovation. We will beat Notre Dame. But they are also meant, poor Anne, but they are also meant to shape and inform how we live out these values in the work. This was done before the game, I'm just kidding. But they are also meant to shape and inform how we live out these values in the workplace. I will support my coworkers in their own goals and aspirations. I will be caring and compassionate when I notice someone who may need help. I won't boo when the other team scores. This one I struggle a little bit with. Not a ton, but a little. I just urge everyone to remember that our shared values are not just words on a screen, nor are they just something else to add to our to-do list. They are both actions and commitments we make to each other, to our students, and to the communities that we serve. And they can be manifest on a macro level, such as guiding the major decisions that we make as an institution, or on a micro level, such as asking someone if they need help finding a room in the Ohio Union when they look lost. When Gates asked me to share with you today, he also asked that I offer a few examples of how we are advancing this concept of university shared values throughout our student life organization. When I first started at Ohio State, January of 2020, I held a series of more than 20 to 30 listening sessions throughout the unit of student life, including some late night and early morning sessions to account for shift transitions. One of the things I learned is how important it is to our team to give them opportunities to connect with those who work in other departments. We're a pretty large division of student life, 956 FTEs and up to 4,500 student employees, depending on the year. So therefore, we hold monthly what we call Scarlet and Great gatherings, some that are more formal, like our recent State of the Division address, and others that are more activity-based, such as holding self-care and well-being sessions where employees can write appreciation cards to others, create activity kits for kids at Children's Hospital, or just simply come together to connect with other colleagues. These opportunities uphold the university's care and compassion shared values, as well as gives us opportunities to share information about progress toward goal attainment, which ladders up to the excellent and impact value. You might be surprised by this example, but as it relates to integrity and respect, which is defined as acting responsibly and being accountable, we have implemented a staffing to strategy process through which every new or backfill position must go through. We want to be sure that we are being good stewards of the university's resources and allocate them in a way that is priorities and outcomes-based. Lastly, I would be remiss if I didn't mention our High Five Friday messages. During the pandemic, I started what we call today's update messages, which ended up being hundreds of editions long and always included kudos at the end of the week. If you remember, I started in January of 20, and then I didn't get to spend a whole lot of time with my team after March of 20. Everything had to be virtual. So finding ways to connect, the only way to do that was through email and through Zoom meetings. So while I don't do those today's updates, that was a really formal, fancy title that we came up with, today's update. I don't do those anymore every day. We do send out High Five Friday messages in which I can thank team members and also feature kudos that other staff members submit. We will also get pictures of babies and dogs and all other kinds of people and things that mean a lot to our team. It really seems very simple, but it is a very important cultural demonstration of appreciation, which is a cornerstone of our organization. In closing, I think it is critically important to remember that strong organizational cultures are also reinforced and strengthened by people like you and me and the students who are here in the union in the hallway right now, the faculty member who may be teaching on only online courses, the team member who may be making sure that the recycle bins are clear, and of course, the football team, Go Bucks, beat Notre Dame, and the list could go on and on and on. The point is that every single member of our community on every campus, in every building or virtual space, literally everyone, is a part of this work that we must do together. If you look around the room, you will see colleagues from across the university. To me, the single most important thing about today is that we are approaching this work together. Of course, we are all customizing this initiative to fit our individual unit needs, but the reality is that putting a common stake in the ground across the entire institution is so critically important. It was truly inspiring at our session with the student leaders on yesterday to hear them say things like, "We are all responsible for creating a caring campus community," and every campus community member should feel prepared and responsible for helping someone else find the resources and the support that they need. And I could not agree with our brilliant student leaders more. It's kind of like this. OH. As we just demonstrated, you simply can't do it alone. Thank you.